Welcome back to Iowa College and Career Readiness Academy 101. In this video, we will look at some frequently asked questions about grading. The first issue that we're going to look at is when you're grading a discussion. So the first thing I'm going to do is just jump into session 1 and find my first discussion. So here's a discussion about post-secondary education training. I click on this discussion. Here's the summary of it. When I come in to grade these, it's going to be helpful to look at these from the bottom. And the reason is because this runs like a forum. The newest thing is going to be on top, which is how you know, if you're following the discussion, it's how you keep up. The newest stuff is up here. Whereas down here, you're going to have the older posts. So here we have a post. You can give it a rating. And remember, here you're rating out of 25 and then 35 for any of the replies. That way, we're using sum of ratings. That way, it'll equal 35. If somebody does the post and 2 replies, you're going to get 35 total points. That's the goal of what we're trying to get here. Now, if you were to accidentally grade it as 35, 35, 35, technically that would go in the gradebook as 105, but it doesn't allow anything higher than maximum score. So it would just do a 35 out of 35. When you're grading these, you want to grade from the bottom up. The next thing that we want to look at here is when we get into an assignment, what the grading workflow looks like. So we'll go back to, and the assignment we're going to use here is the final action plan. And here's an assignment. Now, it could be any assignment, it's not just this one. But when you're grading this assignment, the first thing you're going to do is click on the assignment, and you have 2 options. You can either look at the submissions or start grading. If you view the submissions, all you're doing is getting the name and the status, as well as over on the right-hand side, what you want things to look like, or what's been submitted. If you want to grade a specific person, you can click grade right here. So we use test 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'll click grade. That pops open this screen right here. Now, before we go any further, I also want to show you on this screen, if you were just to click grade, it will also pop open this grader. You can filter by your participants. So if you just want to look at Sue's courses, you can see, not a good one apparently. Let's look at Meredith's. Okay, so here we could hit grade, and you'll notice it's only giving me the 10 people that are associated with Meredith's section of this course. They're in her group. Now, over on the right is where you get to provide feedback. And the feedback that you provide is dependent on the submission. So you'll see this example right here. There's nothing showing up here. If I scroll down, so it doesn't look like there's no attempt. That's why it doesn't make sense, right? Whereas if we were to go back and we want to click, actually we'll just do the same thing. We'll just click a different student. I wanted to get to this test 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's a couple of things here. The first one, if you're seeing stuff over here like this, that means that you have asked them to upload it as a PDF. Anything that's uploaded as a PDF can be annotated. So over here, you'll notice that there's some highlighting, there's a comment here, there's a red X, there's some drawing, and an emoji that was put on this. These are all things that happen up here. So if I want to add a comment, I can click right here and just add a comment. When I click out of it, now it'll open when I mouse over. Over here, if I want to have a different color comment, that's how you mark it with a different color comment. You can always move things around using the arrow. So if you get it the wrong place, maybe you want it right there. This line right here is just a squiggle. So if you wanted to sketch something or you wanted to draw something, you could do that. And then you got your basic shapes. Here you've got your highlighter, and here you've got your color. So if I want to highlight something in green, I can do that. And you'll see how I'm a little bit off. So I can just grab that right there. And then if I would like, I can add a comment right there. Obviously, that's not a comment about what's being written, but I can add comments to this annotated PDF as well. And the last thing you can do is you can throw a stamp on it, and you get to choose what the stamp is. So if you wanted to put this in, and again, maybe you put it a little bit in the wrong place, so we wanted to put that right there. That only works on PDFs. Once you're done, you're going to go ahead and hit Save Changes. And now what I wanted to show you was what that looks like from the student end. So from the student end, here I'm logged in as that test account. From the student end, I'm going to go to the, make it a little bit bigger here for you, to the final action plan. And when I look at that assignment, it's going to allow me to view the annotated PDF, and you'll see the PDF that's been marked up. Now there's a couple other submission types. Remember, those only work with PDFs. Some of the other submission types are, the common ones you're going to get are online text. So somebody's going to write something, and then you're going to need to provide feedback for it. So let's go ahead and go back to the home page here. And we're going to go to create a blog post. In this assignment, when we click on it, again, we notice that it gives me kind of the rundown. I can always filter by group. If I click View Submission, I'm going to see the person's name and what was actually submitted. So if I want to grade it, I can click Grade here, or if I'm going to grade everybody's, I just click Grade right here. Now you'll notice this assignment only allows online submissions, which is why when I pulled it up, it doesn't have that PDF view. It just has the online text view. This is an example of inline commenting. So this specific assignment has inline commenting turned on, which means when you provide feedback down here, it's going to copy whatever the person wrote, and then you can go in here and change things. Now, what I would do for this is if I'm going to change this, I'm going to look at changing something else about it. So I don't necessarily know what I want to change about it, but maybe I want to make my stuff bold. Or, oops, maybe anything that I write is going to be italicized. Something like that. Maybe I want anything to be in a different color. So that's how you can provide feedback directly into what someone's writing, and then you don't have to copy it. It'll do that copy step for you. This gets into a couple things right here. You'll notice up here there's comments. A submission comment is something like, let's do this. So a comment up here is going to, it's a comment on the submission itself, and you're going to want to save that. Down here, when you're providing feedback, this is where you're going to talk about the Now, if you want to actually take it a step further, you can record yourself providing feedback. So you can click this button right here and click Start Recording. All right, so now I can provide verbal feedback to a participant based on what I'm seeing on the screen, and they're going to see me and hear me. So you can attach it as an annotation. You'll also be able to do an audio annotation, so you could do this right here as well. So maybe I'm reading something on the screen and I'm providing audio feedback to the participant as well. So that's how you do that from the teaching perspective. I do want to show you one other thing. We can save that because it's on a test account. So we talked about comments, submission comments, we talked about feedback comments, we talked about inline text. Not every assignment has inline text editing. That's a assignment setting, so you can change that. Remember though, you have to be editing teacher, and it changes it for all teachers teaching the course. The only other thing I wanted to show you was a toggle button. And we'll go back to this assignment for that. In your final action plan, two things. One of the other things I wanted to show you was if somebody submits a Word document and you click grade, nothing's going to show up over here because they didn't send you a PDF. It only works for PDFs. You can't annotate Word documents. What you can do is just click on this button and it'll download it. You can read it, and then you can provide your feedback over here. But like I said, I wanted to show you these 3 toggle buttons in the bottom right. These buttons allow you to swap your view. So if you have a submission type that says, hey, you can submit an assignment or inline text, this is going to come up blank, and their inline text or their text will be over here all jammed up. All you have to do is click this one. So this button over here makes the right side of the screen substantially larger. This splits it in half, and this makes the PDF view larger. So you have the opportunity to toggle back and forth between those. A reason you might want to do this is on a larger assignment, you can set up a rubric. So over here on the right, instead of assigning a grade, like right here we assign a grade, what you would do is you would just click on the boxes of the rubric and it'll automatically generate a grade. So these assignments don't have that set up, but that's something that could be set up. So I hope that that helps you in your process of grading, both discussions starting at the bottom as well as any submission and kind of how SpeedGrader works and some of the nuances to it.